Great pleasure to welcome and thank Ben Ivory, Senior Vice President from the Graebel companies, in joining me to make this video and sharing his unique knowledge of sustainability in our industry, and also on the UN Global Compact, which is becoming more widespread globally and also within the mobility industry. So Ben, thank you so much for joining to make this video, because I truly do see you as one of the great thought leaders in our industry on the sustainability agenda. So welcome.
Well, Paul, thank you very much. It's great to be with you.
Thanks so much, Ben. And I'm really interested to start the conversation. Could you share a little bit more on why Graebel went on the sustainability journey, and when this started, and how you came to get involved with the UN Global Compact?
Yeah, Paul, I think I'll start with somewhat of a general statement that I think most companies, and especially companies in our mobility industry, have strong values and practices that they've either were built upon, maybe coming from an entrepreneur or a dedicated leader of a company. Some organizations, I think, are better at articulating exactly what those are. And I think other organizations are good at just acting it out and doing it, not talking about it. Graebel, I've been with Graebel now almost 40 years, believe it or not. And Graebel has always been good at, I think, both articulating why we're doing things and then also acting in a responsible manner. You probably remember that our founder, Dave Graebel, really was always very good at talking about the why and talking about kind of the higher reasons that we do things. And I think that helped grow our organization to be a successful organization. So with that as a backdrop, our organization was involved in our communities, and we did have policies and procedures, and we did, I think, have a decent respect for the environment, and also for sure acted in an ethical manner. But being specific, I had an assignment in Prague that ended in, I think, 2015. I came back to the United States, and we had a couple of projects. And I think we saw that we were growing globally, and we were doing a lot of different things, but we felt that we really needed something to organize our various activities, the good work that we did. And we needed to do it in a framework that would allow us to organize, to measure, to expand, to communicate to our employees, to our customers, to our suppliers, et cetera. So we had known about the UN Global Compact. Obviously, it's a global organization. There are probably more members globally than even in the United States. It has a better global feel to it. Today, I think it's 12,000 organizations in 165 countries. And it really has pretty simple, basic 10 principles that it's based on. And then later on, they added the 17 SDGs, the Sustainability Development Goals, that help identify specific actions in key areas. So for us, it was a way to organize our various issues or various initiatives, possibly see areas that we think we could do better and expand upon, and prioritize what was important to us. The SDGs, I think, fit certain companies. Not all 17 fit every organization. And so maybe a company that is marine based is going to be a little bit more focused in the water side of things, or a company that is producing food may be a little bit more involved in the land and so on. So I think it offers a lot of flexibility to organizations to determine how do they want to attack, or how do they want to pursue a sustainability program.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. And you make some great points there. And I know anybody looking at this, it can look pretty daunting there, but it's mapping out the journey that the company wants to go on. And your point, Ben, isn't it? Picking out those SDGs, adhering to the 10 principles and putting a roadmap out. And I know a lot of people are thinking they've got to go all in this, but which isn't the case. It's just setting your stall out of what you're going to do, how you're going to measure it, and how you're going to take your journey forwards. But in those early days, I know there's a few other companies that have gone for the UN Global Compact, but I'm sure there must have been some bumps in the road, because it is a complex journey. And just to start the journey, I just applaud you and the other companies for just starting this journey as you did. But really welcome any learnings you could share from your journey on the UN Global Compact, or just the general sustainability journey.
Yeah, yes, Paul, a few ideas. First of all, I find myself using the word journey quite a bit as we talk about this. And so, when you think about a journey, I think most businesses, it's hard to be thinking out 10, 15, 20 years. I think most of us are servicing clients today and next year, and maybe we have an IT project that's a 3-year project or a 4-year project, but we're not often looking at 15 years out and so on. So I think it does take a different mindset. And kind of tying it into Graebel, Bill Graebel was the one who said, yes, let's go for this. I think we need to have a globally recognized process that clients can understand. And so it took a leader in Bill to say, yep, let's do this. Let's go for it. And I don't think he worried a whole lot about the investment. I think he just knew that it was the right thing to do. And so that ties into, I think, a journey, requires passion. You need it. It involves people with passion. And we are seeing there are a lot more people that are passionate about this topic today, which is exciting. And then I think the next piece is collaboration. It's not going to be one person doing something. It really is going to be multiple people working together. And so that what was important within our organization. And you can imagine that there's some people in an organization who say, you know what, I really don't know why we're doing this, or where does this fit in, or what do you need me to do? And so that takes collaboration and people getting to understand what it all meant. And then then collaborating with suppliers, with organizations, other organizations, and even in this initiative with associations. So I think, journey is a word that I feel is very necessary to talk about, and then also a collaboration, because again, if a journey is going to have a whole lot of little steps, how do people work together to either learn what those steps are, or how to determine what the next step is?
Yeah, thank you, Ben. And I think people will take great comfort in that you're talking about a very a long journey that's basically for the life of the company, and small steps. I'm just personally implore people like yourself just to take some small steps, make them meaningful, learn from those steps, move on, but continue that journey. And also in the industry, we use a huge amount of cardboard and paper, and it's just necessary, but we need to do it to keep the belongings we're moving whole, so they're sustainable and they don't get damaged. But I know there's a movement starting from we've got really good at recycling most across the world, and into using reusable, recyclable materials. And now I think there's that real focus on the reusable, the circular economy, getting materials that we can reuse time and time again. And it'll be fascinating to see where that goes. And I mean, are there any sort of final thoughts that you could leave us with, share with us, just to get people to start that journey, a bit of encouragement?
Yeah, Paul, again, I think that, I guess, a long journey, the most difficult piece is starting. And I think that all of us, whether it's individuals, a small company that maybe non-asset based, maybe an asset base with trucks and men and using fuel and so on, every organization has a different starting point. We often also say that sustainability is more than the environment. It is how you treat your employees, and how do you act responsibly in a global economy. So there is that broader definition that I think we have to keep remembering. So again, I think the most important thing is not to get too overwhelmed by worrying about, do you know what the right next step is? I think learning, listening, there's so much being written today. So there are a tremendous amount of resources. I do think that things like the organizations like the UN Global Compact offer a wealth of resources to help, whether it's educate or direct and provide instructions as to how to build a program, for a small company, for a medium-sized company, or a large company. So again, I guess I suppose the very first thing is not to be afraid of it. Again, you mentioned said a thought leader. To tell you the truth, I feel like every day I learn something, and it's just a matter of just being interested enough to learn what are people doing and what are things we can do that make the world a better place. And I do think that if we all take those steps, we're going to make a lot of the headway. There's going to be technology and innovation, I think, that kicks in along the way that helps speed up the process. But in the meantime, it's a lot of those small incremental steps that all of us need to share.
Thank you, Ben. I mean, thank you for sharing your insight and again, giving people more comfort to start this journey or to continue their journey and to look at the UN Global Compact, because I do agree. I mean, there's some amazing resources on there. And I think just the visualizing the 10 principles and the 17 SDGs and just looking at what each company already has, because most companies have gone on a really good CSR, corporate social responsibility journey over the years. And a lot of those do map across, but there's a lot of good learnings that come from there. And I think people can take comfort from. It's, thank you so much indeed. And one thing I did want to say, I love that you mentioned collaboration, because I think that we within the industry at the start of something really great, and I think companies are starting to get more open to sharing and being open, such as yourselves at Graebel. And I just hope more companies will come together, and particularly around the material side, the reuse side, sharing some resources, etc., and looking at what other industries have done. That collaboration does really go on a powerful journey. So I think that's the way it has to be for sustainability. It's
Paul, if I could just say one last thing too. All of us have spent a lot of time developing relationships around the world. You and I met probably 15, 20 years ago, and our relationship is okay, it's longer. So the point is that we have strong relationships to build upon. We've been helping each other, helping organizations relocate their employees around the world. And so we have such a great basis to collaborate upon. In other words, we're not just starting our relationship with a partner in Egypt or in Cambodia or wherever. We've established those relationships. And I think that is one of the unique strengths of our industry that we can build upon to make this collaboration and this journey move quickly and successfully.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And Ben, thank you so much for your time. It's very gracious of you, and I know it's pretty early there. So thank you for sharing all of this with the Euro members in this educational module. Have a great day. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Paul. Take care.